Guided content creation is a concept that I'm all in on, and it's one of the core offerings that I've actually built my entire business around. This is the process of having a content creation expert or a coach, a trusted guide along with you, whether it's in person or remote through the equivalent of a recorded Zoom. They walk you through getting comfortable, making sure your camera positions are right, making sure the audio sounds decent, and that the window light coming in is looking as good as it possibly can when it hits you. Then that content creator kind of just interviews you, has a chat with you about you and your business, what you're doing, your products, services that you offer, anything under the sun that you'd like to talk about, or the content creator thinks should be talked about. It's kind of a collaborative thing. It's a really nice process that most people love. But the best part about it is that after that session, so to speak, is over, you go back to your day job. Don't even think about it again, because we take that recording and then chop it up into short form content, give it a nice professional edit with company logos and branding and fancy captions and everything that you can imagine, and provide back to you a whole month worth of short form, professionally edited video content for you to drip out to your social media feeds as you see fit. The main challenge with this, from my perspective, is that it's really hard to explain to somebody what actually happens in one of these sessions. And the biggest piece of feedback that I get after an initial session with someone is, boy, that was great. I had no idea what to expect, but now that I've been through it, I want to do this every single month. And I got this same feedback from my friend and client, Brian View, over at FinLocker. Brian, thank you very much. He has been kind enough to give me the permission to post his entire guided content creation session, the very first one that we ever did. And this one's actually a little bit different than most because we both came into it blind. And that was on purpose. Normally, when I do these guided content sessions, I'll have a little bit of collaboration with you beforehand, or I'll come with a list of topics that we might want to talk about. We'll have something. I'll at least know what platforms you're going to want to post the videos to. With Brian, we did it a little bit different. We both came in cold. He didn't know what to expect. I had no idea what topics he wanted to talk about. We wanted it to be as collaborative as possible. And through this session, we ended up getting 8 fantastic short form videos ready for him to post to social media. So I understand that this is going to be a longer video, but it is going to show you exactly what a guided content creation session is all about. Feel free to use the chapter markers to navigate below, but this is everything, unfiltered, unedited. The only editing that I did was inserting the finished product into this video after each successful finalized take. So again, chapter markers for navigation are down below. And if you're interested in guided content creation, hopefully this can help you get a better idea of what it is and what we do. We'll see you at the end of the video. And now we're recording, so I didn't forget that button. But yeah, like I said, camera looks good, audio looks good, everything's fantastic. And like when it comes, I was refreshed to see that you were asking for a webcam under a couple $100 because it just doesn't take that much when it comes to video. I mean, like you just heard, the audio editing is so advanced now that we can make your audio sound fantastic, and we will. And the video, when it comes to this short form type of stuff, even when it's B2B, like people don't want to see highly produced commercials most of the time. They want something authentic. They want something they can resonate with. This is going to come through as higher quality than a Zoom call, but it's not going to look like you had a camera crew out to your house. Right. People can actually relate to it.
Yeah. And, what's interesting is, and this is coming from spending time with you in the last few weeks and just watching others. When I look at the engagement that I'm having on my posts, typically anything I record on my phone where I'm out of this element, my office, it's performing at like 4 to 6 times the performance of something where I'm in my office recording on my webcam.
Yep. And it's all about being relatable. Yep. And that's common, especially because phone recordings usually lean more personal.
Yeah.
Even if it's a business related post, it will register as more of a personal piece of content because you're more dressed down, or
Right.
you're in your backyard, or you're at spring training watching your son play baseball, or whatever it is. Like, it's stuff that people like to see. It turns out that humans, contrary to popular belief, love humans.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And that's who they want to interact with, not actors, so to speak. It's all about the human level. So I like the production value that we're seeing here, which is slightly leveled up, but not hugely leveled up. That's my target for all this stuff. I really think that the engagement is going to be better with that. And then because you're super active on the socials, especially LinkedIn already, then the type of content that we're going to shoot today and the type of shorts that we're going to produce from it is going to be really good stuff to pepper in to your feed.
Yeah.
1 or 2 times a week to supplement all the other stuff that you're already doing, not necessarily to replace it. And I think that's where people are going to see the most engagement.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So we're going to do, I just want to do a little relaxation exercise because it's good for everybody. Just take a deep breath and let your shoulder, because I can talk today. Let your shoulders drop as far to the floor as you possibly can, and just think about your jaw for a second. Make sure you're not clenching your teeth. That's a common thing. I'll pop me back in here for a second so I can demonstrate, because I'm an Italian. I talk with my hands. These things go all over the place. I'm comfortable with that. Some people aren't comfortable with that, and they get stuck with their hands in funny positions, which is why sometimes you see talking head videos where somebody's stuck in prayer hands the whole time, or they're giving you the diamond, or every time they make a point, they're giving you the bon appetit, and they're giving you the point it's just, find a home for your hands if you don't have one already, whether it's on your desk or on the tops of your thighs or whatever it is, somewhere where you can return your hands back to so you don't get stuck in one of those funny positions, because boy, oh boy, it does stick out like a sore thumb. And sometimes it is a sore thumb, but that's a conversation for another day. I want to do kind of a warm-up take. This is a layup question. We might use this for a video piece. We might not, but this is really in your wheelhouse. When you answer this, and by the way, if your computer screen gets distracting at all, feel free to just minimize this window so you're not looking at yourself or anything else. We really want to focus on the webcam that is recording you. So picture the person that you're talking to, whether it's me or a prospective client or a friend or your wife or whoever, just standing 2 feet right behind that webcam.
Perfect.
And you're just looking straight through the lens.
Yeah, like right here, right?
When we're talking, that looks fantastic.
Perfect.
And just tell me in kind of 30,000 foot view, I feel like this is a pitch that's close to your heart and something that it might even be a canned answer that you have at the ready. But in your opinion, what is financial fitness?
Great question. Financial fitness, it comes in a bunch of different forms, and it really depends on 2 players in my mind. It's one player is the consumer, right? What's important to them in their financial journey. The other player is who's potentially delivering financial fitness resources. So for me, financial fitness is all about readiness. It's being ready for a financial event, a financial transaction, a financial achievement. To me, that's what financial fitness is all about. And for what we do at FinLocker, our achievement or our objective or our goal happens to be home ownership. So it's financial fitness for FinLocker is helping people get to a place where they're comfortable, confident, and certain to their readiness for buying a home and getting the financing to secure that home.
Fantastic. I was right. You did have that in the can and ready to go. We're going to do it one more time, though. I love the concept of financial fitness.
Yeah.
And this is kind of the process of warming you into the session also. We get in the flow. This is going to stay conversational and natural. But now maybe pretend like Like all the conversations I have to have with my daughter. Pretend like I'm a 10-year-old girl. I'm a fourth grader who just got home from school, and I heard something funny from my teacher today. And I said, Dad, what, like, my teacher talked about something called financial fitness. What is it?
Perfect. So financial fitness is no different than physical fitness. There's a process that people go through. And if you're a youth soccer player, as an example, you don't just show up on a Saturday and start playing soccer and playing a game. You go through a process to get your body prepared for that physical event, that soccer game. Financial fitness is the same thing, and replace the soccer game with a goal, an objective, like I want to buy a bike or I want to buy a house. The financial fitness aspect are the things you're going to do in the weeks and months leading up to that event, that purchase of the bike or that purchase of the house. So it's getting all your financial components in order so that you're ready for that transaction and for it to be successful for you.
That was awesome. That was a really good take. I kind of changed your answer. That was
really totally good. I love it too, because it was a great visual for me to think about talking to a 10-year-old. That's why I mixed the youth soccer.
And that's a lot of what this is really knowing who you're talking to. With that piece of content, we're not talking to people who know what financial fitness is. Yeah. We're probably not even talking to mortgage professionals. We might be talking to people who are trying to build up their financial portfolio, looking to purchase their first home. They never thought about things in that term before. So the more we can simplify the answers, the better.
Yeah.
And of course, when it comes to the algorithms, like the short form content that's performing the best right now is all 20 to 40 seconds long.
Right.
So I like to look at getting my ideas out when I shoot short form content in almost in terms of getting what my company does out as fast as possible. If I was pitching to a VC or an investment, it's always shorter the better. Like, can you tell me that in 2 sentences? Great. How about you do it in 10 words?
Yeah.
Great. How about you do it in 5 words? Great. Like, the shorter the better when it comes to a lot of that stuff. So we can definitely revisit certain concepts and ideas, because I'm sure as they're coming out of your mouth and as we stop quote recording during some of these short form takes, you're automatically going to realize a better way to say a certain thing, and you're going to want to go back and redo it. So feel free to let me know whenever that happens, because that's super valuable feedback that I need.
Financial fitness is no different than physical fitness. There's a process that people go through. And if you're a youth soccer player, as an example, you don't just show up on a Saturday and start playing soccer, playing a game. You go through a process to get your body prepared for that physical event, that soccer game. Financial fitness is the same thing, and replace the soccer game with a goal, an objective, like I want to buy a bike or I want to buy a house. The financial fitness aspect are the things you're going to do in the weeks and months leading up to that event, that purchase of the bike or that purchase of the house. So it's getting all your financial components in order so that you're ready for that transaction and for it to be successful for you.
We can move on from financial fitness. I want to get into, the first thing that came to your mind when it came to topics for today is use cases for your product. So let's talk about use cases for your product and try to make it kind of foundational level stuff.
Yeah.
Super stuff that anybody can understand. We can start with first-time home buyers.
What if we started with kind of talking about multiple use cases and then sequentially go into each of them after that?
I like that. How about top 3 or top 5 lists are really good.
Yeah.
For short form content. Do you want to do a top 3 or top 5 uses?
Let's do top 3.
Okay, cool. So I'll just ask you the question quite simply. What are the top 3 best uses for FinLocker?
The number one use case for FinLocker right now amongst our active clients and loan officers is engaging early journey first-time home buyers and helping them get prepared for home ownership. Another use case that's been highly effective for our loan officers is turndowns. Folks that come into their sales funnel, they're not quite ready. They actually get turned down for mortgage. They're using FinLocker or their version of FinLocker to help kind of get that person back on track. And then finally, the use case that's really coming in, getting traction right now as we speak, is using the locker as a hook on social media. So we have some finfluencers who are creating content and driving people into their locker. Probably too long.
Probably too long, but that's okay. That's why we're doing this. That's why I'm trying to do these guided content sessions. So you're not trying to guess whether or not it was too long or how we can do this stuff. Using the locker as a hook or a talking point.
Should I just on that one? Should I do another version and just literally say what the 3 are without going into each of them?
No, I do want you to go into each of them, but I think we should lead with what the 3 are. So maybe after I pose the question again, maybe your answer starts with first-time home buyers, turn downs, and as a hook on social media. And then you can go into your slightly more explained version before we get into some other pieces of content that focus solely on each of those areas.
Okay.
Cool. So again, eye contact with the webcam. Everything's looking super good. What are the top 3 use cases for FinLocker?
Number 1 is first-time home buyers. Number 2 is turn downs. And number 3 is hooking or a hook for social media content. Did I jack that up?
We can try it one more time. I don't think you jacked it up, but continue with your explanation.
Okay.
So that'll be our lead in. That's a good 10-second lead in to a piece of content. And then after that 10-second lead in, just maybe 1 or 2 sentences on first time home buyers and then on turn downs.
Yep.
And then for social media, I feel like we should use a word that's different than hook. That sounds a little aggressive.
Call to action or
as a social media. What do people want to do on social media? Lead generation?
The reality of it is it's a lead gen. I'll just say that as a lead gen.
Lead gen on social media. I think that sounds a lot more relatable and direct to the point to an industry professional.
Yeah.
And it doesn't give the visual of anybody being hooked by anything.
Yes.
So I think that's a good way to go. Cool. So we'll lead with first-time home buyers, turn downs, and social media lead gen, and then you got the you have the kind of the little expanded versions to follow that in the bag. I know you're good at that stuff. So one more time, what are the top 3 uses for FinLocker?
Number 1, first-time home buyers, specifically early journey first-time home buyers. Number 2, turn downs, and number 3, as a lead gen strategy as part of a social media campaign. Now, drilling into each of these use cases, let's start with the early journey first-time home buyer. Loan officers are using their version of FinLocker well up the funnel, helping people who are 6, 12, 18 plus months out from buying a home, using the digital financial tools to get themselves to a place of mortgage readiness. That the tool then keeps them connected directly with that loan officer. For turn downs, it's a similar use case for the consumer. And what's happening there is the loan officer is now saying, instead of saying no, it's not now. And here's my personal digital financial set of tools that are going to help you address whatever's holding you back from becoming mortgage approvable. And finally, in the social media space, we have finfluencers, financial influencers, who are creating content around all the feature functionality in the FinLocker product to attract and engage a wider set of consumers to their personal brand.
That was great. I really don't think we need to drill into them separately. I think we have 4 pieces of content that we can pull from that right there. That was wonderful.
Number 1, first-time home buyers, specifically early journey first-time home buyers. Number 2, turn downs. And number 3, as a lead gen strategy as part of a social media campaign. First-time home buyer. Loan officers are using their version of FinLocker well up the funnel, helping people who are 6, 12, 18 plus months out from buying a home, using the digital financial tools to get themselves to a place of mortgage readiness. That the tool then keeps them connected directly with that loan officer. For turn downs, it's a similar use case for the consumer. Instead of saying no, it's not now. And here's my personal digital financial set of tools that are going to help you address whatever's holding you back from becoming mortgage approvable. And finally, in the social media space, we have finfluencers, financial influencers, who are creating content around all the feature functionality in the FinLocker product to attract and engage a wider set of consumers to their personal brand.
But even though we don't need to, I think we should anyway, because first-time homebuyers specifically, stuff might come out a little bit differently. So we may as well do it.
Yeah.
This is the beauty of just recording a whole bunch of stuff. You can scrap like 90% of it and be left with, with a good amount of content left to post.
I'll just say, for first-time homebuyers, and then I'll go into why the app is helpful for them and important how it keeps them connected to the loan officer, right? So we'll start with that one.
Who's our target audience for this particular piece of content?
Lenders, loan officers.
Lenders and loan officers.
People that are going to pay my bills.
Perfect. I love it. So I'll phrase the question that way.
Okay.
How are maybe your current clients, your current lenders, the ones who are using it most successfully, how are those lenders utilizing FinLocker effectively to help first-time homebuyers?
So first of all, I'll start by saying loan officers are the key to that first-time homebuyer journey. They're the local expert, the local professional. They're using their version of FinLocker to supplement and really extend the engagement they have with those early journey first-time homebuyers. So they're inviting them to download the app and use the feature function of the app that are going to help them understand where they are on that first-time home buying journey. So the app's going to drill into their credit worthiness, their ability to pay based on their income and their debt to income ratio. There's embedded real estate search that helps that user understand what's available, what properties are available in their budget. So it's really extending the loan officer professionalism, professional experience with technology. I hated that, by the way.
No problem. You want to do it again?
There may be a few things in there worthy, but I rambled on. So yeah,
fine. It's totally fine. Let's rewind it and do it again. How do you see lenders successfully using FinLocker to help first-time homebuyers?
So first off, loan officers are using FinLocker as an extension to what they already do in serving first-time homebuyers in their local community. So they're hosting lunch and learns and first-time homebuyer seminars. They're partnering with real estate professionals and other community groups to attract folks that are thinking about buying a home. And then they're using the FinLocker product, again, to extend that engagement. What do I mean by that? When I'm teaching a first-time homebuyer seminar and I'm using an app and explaining how this app is going to help you with budgeting and understanding your credit and setting financial goals and tracking your progress towards those goals, like saving for a down payment, and even finding properties that fit your budget, I'm telling you visually, and I'm giving you a tool as the first-time homebuyer that you can take away, which will live with you well beyond the seminar.
That was good. We might have been a little long on that also, but this is going to depend on the platform a lot. So where are you planning on posting these pieces?
Probably mostly on LinkedIn and I mean, that's really where I spend most of my time on LinkedIn. I probably need to figure out how to do more on Instagram and Facebook, because that's where loan officers are living, because that's where their consumers live.
Because if you're posting these mainly on LinkedIn, we can afford to go a little longer with some of the takes.
Yeah.
If you're doing any YouTube shorts, you're strictly limited to 60 seconds.
Yeah.
And Instagram's just a little bit longer than that. TikTok will let you go a lot longer, but it's not going to be effective if it's a lot longer.
I don't think TikTok's my place to go.
Yeah, but you'd be surprised. It's always, I don't know. Everything's worth experimenting with in my mind.
That's true.
That's just me.
I'm going to probably also put some of these on our website at your FAQs as an example, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
So if we're doing website and LinkedIn, I'm just thinking about from an editing perspective. I know LinkedIn displays square format video really well.
Yeah.
Most of my personal content is all vertical because it goes to many different platforms.
Right.
And it's just much easier that way. But if you're going to stick with LinkedIn and your website, do you think you want these to come out as square or even horizontal as opposed to vertical aspect ratio?
I think square is probably the best.
Square is probably the best. Okay, we can do that. I was planning on doing vertical, but we can do them square because we don't have to worry about. We don't have to worry about
them up too. That's fine too. Whatever. You're the pro.
Do a couple. All right, we can do a couple of different versions and see what works best.
Yeah.
I'll probably lean more vertical just because most people are used to looking at that these days.
Yeah.
And that really is kind of the way everything is migrating.
Do I need to do anything different with the camera? You handle all that.
No, camera looks good. Everything's fine. I'll handle all that. A lot of the time, you don't need to shoot vertical video as vertical in camera, especially when we're doing a session like this, because above you is going to be the question that we're addressing.
Yeah.
Below you is going to be some company branding, maybe a progress bar. So it's good to have that top and bottom room to play with, because that's what's really going to level up the end product. And it doesn't really necessitate you making any changes on your end from a camera. And that also makes this stuff really easy and effective to do if somebody just has like the webcam that's built into their computer.
Yeah.
You can still do vertical video with that as long as the person who's editing it knows what they're doing. So I want to revisit the first time homebuyer stuff one more time.
Okay.
We might not have to, but if we can, that'd be great. Let's just try to condense it a little more. Really go 30,000 foot view, foundational type of stuff. Maybe it's a loan officer who has gotten into the market in the past couple of years, and over the past few months, they have unfortunately learned that you don't just roll out of bed and fall into a pile of refis every day. And they're trying to figure out how to capture more first-time homebuyer business. And they heard about this thing called FinLocker. How can that loan officer use FinLocker to help and attract more first-time homebuyers?
Got it. Give me a second here. I gotta regain my
Take
thought.
your time, gather your thoughts, take a couple breaths, take a drink, whatever you need to do.
Yeah. All right. Loan officers are using their version of FinLocker truly at the top of the funnel and helping early journey first-time home buyers prepare for buying a home and getting the financing to secure that home. They're engaging with these first-time home buyers at seminars, at community events. They're partnering with their referral partners, their real estate partners, and friends and family, frankly, and driving these users into their version of the app. Scrap that. We're going to start over.
No problem. No
I
problem.
hit a roadblock.
It's okay.
This is going to be good for your outtakes, for sure.
There are no outtakes. What you don't know is we're just going to publish everything.
Exactly. Even better. Actually, what I don't know is we're live right now.
I had all my viewers on Twitch. No, it's good. It's good to go through stuff like this because it helps you get your thoughts in line. Yeah. And I mean, the next time a prospective customer asks you this question, you're going to know exactly how to answer it. So there's nothing wrong with that. Waste all the bad stuff on me. We'll get there sooner or later.
Yeah. We're good.
But how can lenders effectively use FinLocker? Maybe just limit it to like one or two ways that you see lenders effectively using FinLocker to help first-time home buyers.
Yeah. The two ways that I'm seeing loan officers have success using FinLocker with take two.
That's good. You had your hand stuck in the number 2 position also. So.
The two ways that we're seeing loan officers have success with FinLocker for first-time home buyers is number one, in their local communities, partnering with their real estate professionals to conduct son of a bitch.
It's okay. That's what editing's for. Top two ways.
Whoops. Here we go.
Go ahead. You're good.
Okay. The top two ways we're seeing loan officers have success with FinLocker with first-time homebuyers is number one, in their local communities, conducting seminars, partnering with real estate professionals and other community groups to spread the word and help people get prepared for buying a home. And secondly, on social media, becoming an expert education content provider, focusing on early journey first-time homebuyers, helping them understand their credit, how to calculate their debt-to-income ratio, understand if they have enough money in their bank accounts to afford and pay for down payments. Those are two of the top ways that loan officers are using FinLocker today to support first-time home buyers.
And that's the one.
Yeah, I like that.
Nailed it. That was great.
The top two ways we're seeing loan officers have success with FinLocker with first-time home buyers is number one, in their local communities, conducting seminars, partnering with real estate professionals and other community groups to spread the word and help people get prepared for buying a home. And secondly, on social media, becoming an expert education content provider, focusing on early journey first-time home buyers, helping them understand their credit, how to calculate their debt-to-income ratio, understand if they have enough money in their bank accounts to afford and pay for down payments. Those are two of the top ways that loan officers are using FinLocker today to support first-time home buyers.
Now let's do the same thing. I like the top one or two type of format. Let's do the same thing as it pertains to turn downs. How are lenders using FinLocker to let's say how do they cultivate their turn downs?
Yeah.
And not let them run straight out the door.
I love it.
And somewhere else,
Yep. Okay. It's not no, it's not now. And that's how FinLocker is helping loan officers today deal with their customers who come in and are not mortgage ready, or even worse, were turned down for a mortgage. They're inviting them to download this free financial fitness app that helps that user address whatever it was that was holding them back from being approved for their mortgage in the first place. Could have been credit, could have been lack of assets or savings. It could have been too much debt. The app will help the consumer address those specific issues while keeping them directly connected with their loan officer. And then once they become ready, they're already in the ecosystem of that loan officer, ready to get back into the mortgage application process.
That was perfect. I refer to those as a one-take wonder.
Yeah, I like that.
One take and you're done. That came out
for the last couple.
Yeah, that was really natural. That came out great.
Awesome.
It's not no, it's not now. And that's how FinLocker is helping loan officers today deal with their customers who come in and are not mortgage ready, or even worse, were turned down for a mortgage. They're inviting them to download this free financial fitness app that helps that user address whatever it was that was holding them back from being approved for their mortgage in the first place. Could have been credit, could have been lack of assets or savings. It could have been too much debt. The app will help the consumer address those specific issues while keeping them directly connected with their loan officer. And then once they become ready, they're already in the ecosystem of that loan officer, ready to get back into the mortgage application process.
Wardrobe.
We got a wardrobe change. I should have a sound effect for that. I don't have one. The only wardrobe related sound effect I have is this one.
Hat of the day. Ooh, I love hats.
I love it.
For my stupid little personal podcast. All right.
All right, my back centered and looking square.
Yeah, you're good, man. Everything's fantastic. You're right back where you were. And the third talking point that we had on this was using it as a lead generation tool.
Yep.
And social media. This could be conceptual, how you think it should be done, or it could be based on success stories that you've seen.
Yep.
But either way, how is or how should loan officers be using FinLocker to generate leads on social media?
So by now, I'm sure everyone's heard of Rocket Money. Rocket Money is really Rocket Mortgage's playbook for client acquisition. And what do I mean by that? They're leveraging the tools in Rocket Money to attract consumers into their marketing ecosystem. Loan officers now have the ability to do the same thing with FinLocker, and we're seeing it with social media finfluencers, financial influencers who are using all the goodness of their FinLocker app, from credit monitoring and credit improvement to budgeting to goal setting, all the way to real estate search, and building content around those use cases to attract new customers into their marketing funnel, and then continuing to build that engagement build that relationship and trust through the goodness of the app.
Awesome. We're good to go with that one.
Does it feel like it's pretty self-explanatory?
I really like that you led with the comparison to Rocket Money.
Yeah.
When my wife asked what FinLocker was, I said it's a way for every mortgage company to have Rocket Money for themselves.
Right.
So that was my that's like my little one sentence explanation.
I used that in 22 meetings last week at Lenders One.
You
the
have
Rocket
to.
Money for everybody not named Rocket Mortgage.
I mean, it makes no sense not to draw those parallels, because Rocket spends millions and millions of dollars on marketing.
Right.
So everybody knows what it is. So they basically just told everybody what your app does and what it's been doing for longer than theirs.
Yeah.
So you may as well just draw those parallels and piggyback off the back of their marketing.
Yeah.
You don't have
Here's
to
the playbook, guys. Go execute.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to spend it now. I mean, they have fun little color gradients and stuff in their app icon, and it looks really nice and pretty. But I mean, you white label this for all these mortgage companies, so it's custom. I've been seeing some of the, not any videos, but I've seen the static imagery content that Synergy One has been posting of S1 FinFit.
Yeah.
And I know it's FinLocker, and it doesn't look like the FinLocker that I am familiar with, because their company colors with the grays and the yellows, they're so dynamic that it really does change the look and feel of everything and really takes you under their umbrella, so to speak, in a really nice way.
So by now, I'm sure everyone's heard of Rocket Money. Rocket Money is really Rocket Mortgage's playbook for client acquisition. They're leveraging tools in Rocket Money to attract consumers into their marketing ecosystem. Loan officers now have the ability to do the same thing with FinLocker, and we're seeing it with social media influencers, financial influencers, who are using all the goodness of their FinLocker app, from credit monitoring and credit improvement to budgeting to goal setting, all the way to real estate search, and building content around those use cases to attract new customers into their marketing funnel, and then continuing to build that engagement, build that relationship and trust through the goodness of the app.
Love it.
All right. So we got some really good stuff. We got the top 3 uses. We got your definition of financial fitness. I think I want to shoot for 8. I think we should end up with 8 pieces here.
Okay.
And we've talked about first-time home buyers, turn downs, lead generation tools. Now, maybe do you really want to hit on credit union stuff right now, or do you want to focus on a couple more fact-based type?
Yeah,
of
maybe we stay in the fact-based.
Okay. So we'll scrap credit unions for this time. If you like how all this goes, we can do that next time. But
and by the way, I want to, while we're here, at the last one, you can ask me a question and ask me how your company's helped me kind of amp up my game, and I'll
I don't want to do that.
Why?
Because it's selfish. I'd rather ask you about your son signing on my favorite baseball team.
We can do whatever you want, but I want to help you too. So
I appreciate that. I will be helped by being able to show these as examples of work. And if you are, I am helped by creating happy customers. That's how I'm helped. Because if I have happy customers, then I have fans, and if I have fans, then I have referral sources. And I mean, especially you. I mean, you actively do business with so many different lenders that, like, if you enjoy this concept and you have a good time and you're happy with the content that comes out of it, then the next time you hear about a lender who's looking for something similar, then you're going to refer me to them. That's all I ask for.
Spreading the love about you at Lenders One. So
I appreciate that. Thank you. That means a lot. It really does mean a lot. I heard I had a meeting Friday with a branch manager friend of mine who has his own kind of marketing platform for realtors or whatever. But when he's doing a real estate transaction, he's primarily a lender, but he is licensed for real estate, so he can basically do home purchases for friends and family.
Yeah.
Once every couple of years when that comes up. But if he gets like a friend of a friend referred to him, or a friend of a family member, or whatever it is, and they ask about commissions and this and that and whatever, he says, I don't charge commission. The only fee is 3. And they look at him very confused. And he says, referrals. If you have 3 friends or family members looking for a refinance or a purchase mortgage, my only fee to you is 3 referrals. That's all I ask for. And like it's a really good way of explaining, just like, I'll take care of you, you take care of me.
Yeah.
And that's how business should be done. I love that.
Yeah. We're small businesses. Let's help each other out. I love it.
Exactly.
I just thought of another use case that could fall into our FAQ. So kind of the customer for life, ongoing engagement.
Yes.
So we might as well get that one on.
Let's do that one now. How can FinLocker turn a transactional client into a customer for life?
Oh, I like that. Okay, because I'm gonna work that into the.
Gather your thoughts. I love it.
You may put that as the header, right?
These are the only things that I'm thinking about, is things that look good on headers, things that that will be highlighted in the captions and all that fun stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
Got it. I know what I'm going in this.
How can FinLocker turn a transactional client into a customer for life?
Financial fitness doesn't end when the loan closes. Financial fitness is actually more important after you become a homeowner. And your version of FinLocker will help your customers continue to manage their overall finances, including now likely the largest asset in their portfolio, their home, and the largest liability in their portfolio, the loan against that home. And so this app now lives on forever on your customer's phone, providing them value beyond budgeting and credit monitoring. Now they can track the value of their home, the available equity, and use it to optimize their largest asset, their home, always connected to you, their loan professional.
Perfect. Love that. You even stumbled over a word, making yourself sound human. It was great.
Yeah, perfect. Those are good.
It was good. They are. A little a little stumble just means that this isn't rehearsed. This is conversational, and you're not an actor reading off of a teleprompter. That's exactly what we like to hear. Like that.
I'm not good at that shit.
I've done my fair share of teleprompter work, and it is hard to get, as somebody who does better just riffing off the top of his head. Getting used to doing work off of a teleprompter is difficult. Even now, I try to avoid it like the plague. Yeah. Sometimes there's a video that I make that has so much data and numbers that you just can't get wrong. Yeah. That I have no choice but to do it off of a teleprompter, and it's still not completely comfortable. Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm like, it takes me 10 takes on anything that I do that's scripted. So
yeah.
I've just gotten to a place where it's like I'm going. That's my one take thesis, right? Hit the button, record, and that's what we're living with.
That's right.
Financial fitness doesn't end when the loan closes. Financial fitness is actually more important after you become a homeowner. And your version of FinLocker will help your customers continue to manage their overall finances, including now likely the largest asset in their portfolio, their home, and the largest liability in their portfolio, the loan against that home. And so this app now lives on forever on your customer's phone, providing them value beyond budgeting and credit monitoring. Now they can track the value of their home, the available equity, and use it to optimize their largest asset, their home, always connected to you, their loan professional.
Next one I want to do, I think addressing how lenders and or loan officers are getting people into FinLocker.
Okay.
How are they introducing it successfully? How are they pitching it successfully, selling it successfully? Not that they're necessarily selling it to people, because it's typically offered as a free service, but how are they exposing borrowers, prospective customers to FinLocker and actually getting them successfully into the app. Because it's one thing getting somebody to download an app. That's a big enough hurdle. But with FinLocker, much like Rocket Money, you're connecting bank accounts, you're saving logons, you're giving it access to credit like that. It's quite invasive, compared to the vast majority of apps out there. Now the plus sides are all worth it. You should absolutely do it if you're looking to buy a house. However, it's a big ask, and a lot of the times it might even be a larger ask than like an initial loan application, because a lot of times that stuff's just conversational, given over the phone.
Sometimes the first date, when you're downloading this app. So I got that one.
Yeah. So when it comes to those challenges,
there might be two videos here.
Okay.
Because I'm the first one is what I'm thinking about is the distribution strategy. Like where do the invites come from? How do I know about it as a consumer? And there's a dozen strategies there, right? And then the second maybe is the engagement. We can go a little bit like a layer deeper into how the app can slowly build trust, getting the consumer to go deeper into the experience, which then prompts them to connect their financial accounts, et cetera, et cetera.
That's super interesting. Okay, then
I'll do like one,
because we can do two pieces of content based on the same exact question.
Yeah.
And it could just be two different answers, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
So I'll keep the question as simple as possible.
Okay.
How are lenders getting their customers successfully into the locker?
Yeah. So loan officers are using FinLocker everywhere that they're engaging consumers. So think of this as a landing page on their website that talks about all the feature, benefit, and value of the app. Could be in their signature line, a link to download this free app or a QR code. Could be in an email campaign. Could be at the end of a funnel, of a lead funnel, or the end of a survey. If you have a customer that does a survey, at the end of that process, there's a thank you page, download my free app. Could be at your kids' Little League baseball games as a QR code on your sponsor poster, download our free financial fitness app. Could be on social media as a call to action to engage. The point is, there anywhere that you're engaging with prospects is a place to point your app and your link and your call to action to download this app.
Awesome.
There's a lot there.
There is, but that's okay.
So I'm imagining like visuals of QRs and different things kind of popping through.
Yeah. Absolutely. So let me see. Did you want to do that one again?
I can if you want.
Okay. I'm trying to think how this one would turn out. We were talking about doing it twice anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Let's revisit that one answer. Picture less things flying in on the screen. I'm not huge on the emojis and stuff flying into the screen. Captions are, I feel, engaging enough.
Yep.
They highlight the message, and I really want to focus on conveying the message as well as possible. The message is what should, if somebody's going to watch this piece of content and reach out to you because they're interested, it's not because you had the right emoji or picture of a QR code pop up on the screen at the right time.
Right.
It's because what you're saying is going to resonate with them. So if picture, I'm a loan officer, I'm a standard, typical, scared loan officer who is in a tough time in the business and really wants to avoid asking any potential customer for anything extra.
Right.
Out of fear that it could be an inconvenience to them and they're never going to talk to me again, which me and you both know won't happen. But that's a legitimate fear that a lot of people go through.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to reconcile in their head, how the heck am I going to ask this person to download this app and enter all their information and really work through this on kind of their homeownership journey. How are the ones who are currently doing it successfully doing it?
The most successful loan officers that use FinLocker are using a call to action anywhere and everywhere that they're engaging prospects and customers. Now, I'll go a little bit deeper into that. So think of a simple thing like your signature line on your email. When you send an email, you could have a QR code on your signature line, which goes to your unique FinLocker app. Your landing page, your loan officer landing page, could have content that talks about financial fitness, improve your credit, track your budget, that links to your unique FinLocker invite. QR codes on social media for attracting and engaging folks on your social media account using free credit score, free credit monitoring as a hook. Your child's Little League baseball game, a poster that your company sponsors the game, and a QR code call to action to download this free financial fitness app. The point is, anywhere and everywhere that you're engaging customers and prospects should be where you're driving traffic to your unique version of FinLocker to attract and engage or reach and assist more consumers and help them on their financial fitness journey towards homeownership.
That was lovely. I like that. That was a really good response.
That felt good.
Yeah, that came off really nicely. Are there any other kind of real core strategies that you're seeing working?
And I think we covered kind of the big ones right now that are resonating.
The most successful loan officers that use FinLocker are using a call to action anywhere and everywhere that they're engaging prospects and customers. When you send an email, you could have a QR code on your signature line, which goes to your unique FinLocker app. Your landing page, your loan officer landing page, could have content that talks about financial fitness, improve your credit, track your budget, that links to your unique FinLocker invite. QR codes for attracting and engaging folks on your social media account using free credit score, free credit monitoring as a hook. Your child's Little League baseball game, a poster that your company sponsors the game, and a QR code call to action to download this free financial fitness app. The point is, anywhere and everywhere that you're engaging customers and prospects should be where you're driving traffic to your unique version of FinLocker to reach and assist more consumers and help them on their financial fitness journey towards homeownership.
Very good. I want to move on to one more piece.
Yeah.
And I really like the engagement metrics topic.
Yeah.
That you brought up first.
Oh, yeah.
And after Lenders One, knowing that you just went to a conference and knowing how intimately you are involved in all of this stuff, I have a feeling that you're going to have a couple metrics and statistics kind of ready to go in your front pocket, so to speak.
Yeah, it's not in my front pocket. So give me 1 second. Let me just, I need to pull up okay, I'm going to go over here quick. Because I'll my head of product, she'll read me the riot act if I'm not singing off of her hymn sheet. You know what I mean?
No problem. How often are those metrics updated?
Monthly.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I was going to find it.
Just want to make sure that she wasn't going to get mad at me if I don't have this thing edited and back to you tomorrow.
No, and I'm going to frame it in a way that is safe.
Cool.
But I just have to find the right metrics. Oops. Chris. We get to his. I found it. No, I will shrink my screen so that it's right in front of my face. It doesn't look like I'm staring off into space.
I have had success with stuff like that. Actually saying out loud during the video, let me read these so I don't mess anything up.
Yeah.
Or I want to make sure I don't get this wrong, so I'm going to read it. And that gives the audience a reason of why you're looking off camera.
Yep.
And at one point in time, stuff like that would have been horribly frowned upon.
Right.
But since the pandemic and everybody getting so comfortable with interacting on Zoom and multitasking with multiple screens while they're on a video call or camera or something like that, like people are much more quick to forgive, if even notice that type of stuff.
Right. So I'm going to focus on the consumer metrics because I think those are probably most important. And this will be a good one where I can drill a layer deeper on kind of the engagement strategy a little bit.
Perfect. So what do you I'm going to ask what consumer metrics?
Just maybe say how do you measure success, from a metric perspective?
Okay.
Frame it up.
About your team. How does the FinLocker team measure success?
Yep.
Or are you measuring app-wide success, or are you measuring success for the client in their use of the app?
You got it. It's down to the client. It's what are they trying to get out of it?
Gotcha.
All right. I'm going to close my door.
Yeah. Do your thing.
Okay. 1 second.
If anybody's watching this long form thing on YouTube, thank you for still being around. It's much appreciated. I know this is a long video, but I feel like it's really worth it for some people to see the full process that goes into this stuff. Sorry, I was just talking to the other people.
Okay.
The other people on the other side of the camera.
The live audience?
My all my Twitch followers. We have like 3 million people watching right now. So I'm gonna say what do successful app metrics look like for a lender?
Got it.
I'm gonna solo you again. Here we go. And there we go. I'm going to stick with app metrics just because if that's on a banner on the top of the screen, people will be able to relate to that a little bit better. And for all of this stuff, I'm going to keep FinLocker branding at the bottom of the screen pretty consistent with how we're doing your app demo videos.
Yeah, perfect.
And I'm going to try to keep company colors and everything pretty similar also. I'm testing a couple of different editing programs through this, so the captions might look a little different here or there, but I want to keep the company branding and whatnot consistent because I really think that having consistent branding is important, because when your audience starts following you, or when you start expanding your audience through certain pieces of content like this, it'll resonate as more of a factor of comfort when they kind of see the colors and the logo and things like that. I know when I follow stuff, when I watch certain creators, I really like that certain aspects of what they produce stay consistent, and that becomes more of their identity. And I mean, best way to pull an identity from is from your brand. So
that's right. I love it.
Cool. All right, cool. You need a minute to get anything else together on this?
No, let's rock this one.
Sounds good. What do successful app metrics look like for a lender?
Success with FinLocker is client dependent. So each of our lenders has their own success goals for what they're using the app for. What we measure consistently are two metrics in particular. One is MAU, monthly active users, and then the other is first-time users that come back into the app at least once in the first 90 days. Let's start with MAU. The MAU goal for FinLocker is around 20%. What we're trying to target is 20% of the active locker users are logging into their app at least once per month. We're running right now at just over 18% MAU. On the first 90-day user, we're currently running at about 50% of consumers are logging back into the app at least once in the first 90 days. Now, once a consumer downloads and enrolls in the locker, the app will start to engage that user on an active basis. And what do I mean by that? So if I've signed up for an app, downloaded the app, signed up for a locker today, tomorrow I'm going to get a welcome email, a welcome message from the lender. So it's coming from the lender, not FinLocker, that's reminding me of all the great features of this app, why I signed up in the first place, and then starting to prompt me to go deeper into the engagement. So I'll start to get emails about the benefits of linking my credit and why I should do that, why it's important, and how it's going to benefit me. Similarly, I'll be prompted to link my financial accounts, and again, reminded why it's important, why linking my bank account, linking my credit card, and my other spending accounts is important to understand where I am today in terms of being ready to apply for a mortgage. So on your behalf, on the lender's behalf, the app will be communicating regularly with that user to prompt them to go deeper into the engagement.
That was fantastic. I like it. I want to use it, but I want to do it one more time.
Okay.
I'm going to give you one note. Shorter.
Yeah.
So, from a, I mean, you had your two metrics, your two main metrics that you
Yeah,
had.
I don't need to go into all the gobbledygook. I'll just
let's lead with those. So when we ask what do successful app metrics look like for a lender, you can maybe you just lead with the two key metrics we like to focus on are this, and here's why.
Yeah.
And then if you give some averages on what's happening on a typical basis, then that would be really good expansion on that.
Yep.
But if we get, again, you're as close to this as anybody could possibly be, and our audience are people who aren't close to this whatsoever.
Yeah.
And we just want to hit them with the value as quickly as possible.
Got it.
Cool. So what do successful app metrics look like for a lender using FinLocker?
Two key success.
Do your thing. Take three.
Two key success metrics that we focus on are initial user engagement and monthly active users. Initial user engagement measures how often consumers are logging back into the app in their first 90 days. That's currently running at about 50%. And secondly is monthly active users, which measures the number of active users who log in at least once per month. We're currently running at about 18.5% with a target of north of 20%. So we're well on our way to that. The strategies that we deploy at FinLocker to drive monthly active users is leveraging the data, the insights, the changes that are happening in a consumer's locker to prompt them to come back in. And we start that with the very first email they receive from the app, which comes from you, your logo, which welcomes them to the app, reminds them of all the goodness of why they downloaded it in the first place, and then prompts them to take the first step, which is typically to link their credit to see their credit score. Once a month, they're going to get an update when that score changes that brings them back in. So everything we do from an engagement perspective, we're doing it on behalf of the loan officer and the lender client of FinLocker.
Awesome. Love it. Still a little bit long in the tooth, but I think that's good enough to cut a piece of content together with.
And squish that up a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. And again, the vast majority of the time you're going to be posting these on LinkedIn, which is going to be much friendlier to a 2-minute long piece of content than TikTok would be.
Two key success metrics that we focus on are initial user engagement and monthly active users. Initial user engagement measures how often consumers are logging back into the app in their first 90 days. That's currently running at about 50%. And secondly is monthly active users, which measures the number of active users who log in at least once per month. We're currently running at about 18.5% with a target of north of 20%. So we're well on our way to that. The strategies that we deploy at FinLocker to drive monthly active users is leveraging the data, the insights, the changes that are happening in a consumer's locker to prompt them to come back in. And we start that with the very first email they receive from the app, which comes from you, your logo, which welcomes them to the app, reminds them of all the goodness of why they downloaded it in the first place, and then prompts them to just take the first step, which is typically to link their credit to see their credit score. Once a month, they're going to get an update when that score changes that brings them back in. So everything we do from an engagement perspective, we're doing it on behalf of the loan officer and the lender client of FinLaw.
And then, I mean, many of the other platforms don't even allow pieces of content that long. So
Right.
because we know our audience and because we're creating this stuff with intent here, let me come back on the screen so I miss my face. I want to see myself. But because we're creating this stuff with intent and we know where our audience lives and we're going to where our customers are, then that lets us to kind of cater the stuff. If I was doing one of these calls for a loan officer who is posting mainly on Instagram and Facebook, because that's where they have their largest following or viewer base, then we're really going to try to hammer this stuff home to 30 to 40 seconds and really try to do that. But that's what the beauty of this is. It's all custom. It's all custom for the use case. How do you feel about this process? I know this is your first experience with my new concept of kind of guided content creation sessions. We've been recording for just under an hour right now, so we're well within time. We got a solid 8 pieces of content, and I feel like if we did this again next month in the same amount of time, we could probably do 12 pretty easy.
We'll do it again.
You know, hey man, I want you to wait on that until you see the final product, but I think it's going to turn out pretty good.
Yeah, here's what I would say is not knowing what to expect, because honestly, I've never done this before. I've never done this exact thing we just did for an hour. You made it super easy. You gave me some kind of talking points and thoughts to kind of keep me grounded. I felt comfortable the entire time. And what I really liked about it is you didn't ask me to do anything that I don't already know about. And I think the point here is, and you're really doing a good job of putting this message on LinkedIn, is just be yourself and talk about what you know, right? And so
everybody has a pocket.
Yeah.
And the thing is that when it comes to industry professional, all the industry professionals I know, and I'm talking about when I talk industry, I'm talking about my industry. So I've been in mortgage and real estate for almost 20 years now. So when I say industry professionals, when it comes to stuff like this, I'm basically talking about the real estate purchase transaction and anyone involved with any part of that.
Right.
Whether it's home warranties, title, escrow, lead generation, financial fitness, mortgage processing, appraisers, home inspectors, you name it. I mean, it's darn near endless. It's crazy how many industries spin off of the home purchase transaction. But I know so many aspects of that. So it's easy for me to talk to you about your client, because at one point I was your target client.
Right.
So I know how it feels. I know what I would want to see and hear when it comes to stuff like this. I know the lingo, I know the terminology, so we can kind of speak the same language that way. It makes it super easy. And I feel like there's a lot of value to that. But overall, the main thing that I'm trying to do with these calls is the thing that I keep in the back of my mind. I'm trying to teach you without knowing that you're being taught.
Right.
I want to teach you how to make better video. And whether that's with me or on your own in the future, great. But a lot of these tips and tricks that we're going through, let's do this, take this way, and let's cut this down, and let's do this, and let's lead with this. Like, a lot of that is something that you can take forward into the content that you produce on your own. Maybe it's something that you take into a podcast, or the next time you flip on the video selfie on your phone from the balcony with the gorgeous winter background, by the way. Friggin' blew my mind the other day. I'm a Southern California boy. I don't see stuff like that. So the fact that it was winter wonderland right outside your house made me a little jealous. And then I came outside to shovel snow, so I was okay with it. But But at the end of the day, it's an education. It's a learning process, because making good video, like anything, is a skill.
Yeah.
So if you're doing it for the first time, you're not going to be good. But the good thing is that it's a skill, therefore you can learn it and you can build it and you can get better at it. So the first video you make isn't going to be good, but the second video is going to be better, and the third video will be better than that, and the fourth one will be
like
better than that.
financial fitness.
That's true.
These are building blocks. You can't do 100 sit-ups until you do one. So you just got to start.
True. It's true. And then when we talk later or after this, when you have a chance to kind of process everything in your head, I'd like to know what maybe 2 or 3 pieces of core content would be for you. That's something we didn't necessarily do today. And with everybody that I help with this, I like to establish different pieces of core content, because those are things that you can fall back on and talk about over and over and over and over again when you are just having a rough time coming up with an idea for a video.
Yeah.
For me, when I was building a mortgage brand of my own, it was the fact that you don't need 20% down to buy a house, because a shocking number of the nation still doesn't know that, even though it's been that way for decades and decades. And then my other piece of core content was kind of I took it from more of like a PSA type of angle, where I was saying, listen, when the mortgage company qualifies you for a loan amount, they're using your gross income, not your net income, not what you take home. And when they count debts against you to calculate your DTI, they're going off of your obligations on your credit report, but that doesn't include your utility bills, cell phone, streaming services, cost of food and entertainment, gas in your car, all of that stuff. So while they're qualifying you for a certain loan amount, they're not looking at an accurate financial picture of your personal situation. So it was just kind of it was more of a call to empowerment.
Yeah.
As like, you need to take charge of the home purchase transaction. You need to put together a solid, accurate budget, and you need to let them know what you're comfortable with affording. Because if you just buy whatever you can qualify for, a lot of the time you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
And your product is into that so well, with preparing people for home ownership and giving people an accurate look of what they have. I love that you can link all the accounts, and it gives you a live view of everything that you have all in one place. You don't have to do any math, and it gives all those recommendations. It's just fantastic. So again, happy and thankful to be working with you, because I love your product so much. And I'm looking forward to getting some of these finished products over to you so you see how they look.
All right, man. Appreciate it. I got to get ready for my next one, but
do your thing. I don't want to keep you any longer than I have to.
Appreciate you.
Thanks, soon. Brian. Have a good one. We'll talk to you soon.
Later.
Bye. And there you have it. One complete guided content creation, resulting in 8 fantastic shorts that would get anybody on a quick and easy every Tuesday and Thursday posting schedule. At the end of the day, posting to social media more than you are now really is the idea. And embracing short form video for you, your business, your profession, whatever it is that you do, I mean, that's kind of the way that all these things are going, with Instagram and Facebook Reels, TikTok taking off and continuing to do so, YouTube Shorts getting into the mix, LinkedIn pushing videos, Snapchat's still out there kicking around. I mean, these short form videos are what everybody's looking for. That's what viewers want to consume. And this is an easy way for you to get a bunch of them without much time investment at all on your end. So that way you can continue being a busy professional and not have to turn yourself into a professional content creator just to be able to get the good word about your products and services out there. If any of you are interested in learning more about guided content creation and how it can help you in your specific industry, reach out to me directly at mike@hittheredbutton.com, or you can go to the website hittheredbutton.com. If you're still here, thanks for sticking around. Appreciate you watching, and have a good one.